Welcome back to KangBrosTV. Been a while. I know that obviously there's a lot going on out there at the moment, so we just want to start off the video by saying hope everyone stays safe. It is mad times for everybody. There isn't really a right answer or sort of a method that's going to get us out of this at the moment. So I guess it's just a case of following the guidelines, stay indoors, wash your hands, stay safe. Basically, listen, it is hard to stay indoors and stay cooped up, but I think, listen, it's a needs must at the moment, and people need to stop being selfish and think that, by nipping out it will be okay. Think about the people that are at high risk and vulnerable. So just do the right thing for the time being. Stay indoors as hard as it may be, and yeah, I can only encourage everyone to stay safe.
Everyone's been asking where the KangBros have been. We fully quarantined and
Isolating.
It confined us basically. It's been so a lot of people have DM'd us and said, look, we want you to discuss this topic, and it's all about the whole thing about the season. Should it be null and voided? What happens to the title? What happens to Liverpool, etc., etc.? And what do you think our opinion is? So I'll let Kang Jr. kick this off to think what his opinion is in terms of how it should be dealt with, and how should we go about this whole situation that we're in at the moment.
So I think before I get into it, I think it's important to say that whatever is discussed here isn't from a biased perspective. It's not just a pro Liverpool perspective. This is just a pragmatic answer, because I think that's the only thing where you can be in the situation. I think for me, whatever it takes, I think the season has to be finished. Reason being, if you don't finish the season, there's going to be a lot of permutations involved. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to answer for and say, right, okay, well, we haven't finished the season, so season tickets, they have to be null and void. Trips into Europe, or those tickets that were bought, they have to be refunded. People are not getting what they paid for. So does that mean Sky and BT and those subscriptions for those subscriptions have to be Now TV? Does that have to be taken away? Being Sport have bought exclusive rights. So if you haven't delivered on your product, then there's a consequence. You don't pay the full price. And you see it in The Apprentice. If people aren't happy, right, okay, how much do you want to pay? Well, I don't pay the full price because I ain't got it. I haven't got what I wanted and what I was told. So there's going to be a lot of knock-on effects from that perspective. And can the Premier League really afford to lose that much money? You're seeing the clubs now saying, listen, they have to take percentage wage cuts. So there's a massive financial aspect of it involved as well. The other thing that I think about, and I think it has to be taken into consideration, is that you can't talk about null and voiding a season. I'm 100% all for health and safety. I think people's health and the safety of everybody is absolutely paramount. So let's not get that twisted for 1 second. But how can you talk about scrapping the season and concentrating on the next season when you don't even really know what next season will entail? That hasn't even come yet. That's not upon us. But what we are in is we are heavily involved in a current season. Now, think about, put Liverpool to one side. Think about Villa, Norwich, licking their lips, West Ham, Leeds, West Brom, Fulham's, Brentford's, Forest. Then you've got the other end of the Championship, people that are fighting to stay in the league. You've got League One, League Two, Coventry. Coventry have been miles off it, right? Not even having their own ground. Literally a club that's just gone down, 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 and all of a sudden they're in the promotion spots. Financially, that's huge for them, and they're a club that need it as well, like anybody else. Aston Villa at the moment, they're looking at it thinking, well, if you leave it how it is and decide, okay, everything stays how it finishes now, then they've got a game in hand. So how's that fair on them? Sheffield United, they're like, right, well, we're closing in on top 5, top 6 spot, so we should be allowed to, we should be in Europe. You look at people like Millwall, who are in and around the Championship playoff. They were going to get relegated last year. So they're like, well, hold on a minute, that's not fair, because we look at this season, we're never going to get this opportunity back. How do you know how to prepare for next season, right? You're saying that scrap this, and then you can't do that because you don't know what next season will hold. You don't know where it would be. Cross that bridge when you get to it, but you have to complete this season to find out what that is going to be at the other side of the bridge. You're not crossing the bridge at the moment. You're just saying, right, let's just stop now. But then all of a sudden you're saying, right, well, we're just going to call it quits. Fine, well, you better start paying out for people that have bought tickets and travelled across the country, across the world. Europa League games, that you've gone into the arsehole of Europe, right at the maddest parts of Europe, to watch a game of football, to go back to work next day. You're going to refund their money because they haven't got what they paid for.
That's what that gets me, is this whole null and void. Like just some Men in Black shit, just like it didn't exist. Are you mad? So all the people that, you know, like you just said there, paid for subscriptions, went to travel all them distances. So if you're saying it's just null and void, well, you best null and void and reimburse their money back, because if that's not what they paid for, do you know what I mean?
Me included. Do you know what I mean? I've done mad trips to get to games, and I'm like, well, where's my money then? You better pay me back, because if it's null and void, and it's like, well, we can't be helped. Well, they can't be helped that I ain't seen what I paid for, so you best give me my money back.
And
them season ticket holders as well. People that travel to away games. It's like, listen, there's a lot of people that make a lot of commitments, so that's one aspect of it. You could turn around and be like, yeah, but no one cares. Well, yes, you do care, because without fans, you ain't got nada. So there's that way of looking at it. Like I said, from a Liverpool perspective, yeah, they're miles ahead of everybody else, right? And that's the fact. They're miles ahead of everybody else. So you could argue, say, right, we'll just give them the title, but I think you've touched on that before. The season's up, finish the season.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there may be Liverpool fans out there that say, you know what? Or I've actually seen Sky Sports pundits saying just give Liverpool the title, so far ahead. No, we don't want no charity. We ain't no charity case. We want to win the league, being winners, and actually, until it's mathematically impossible to chase Liverpool, Liverpool don't. I personally, as a Liverpool fan, do not want to be rewarded the trophy just based upon, oh, we're so far ahead. So this is why I'm saying Liverpool still want to finish the league just as anybody else. We've spoken to people who are ballers. You know, obviously they want to, you know, they care about their families and their security and all that risk involved. But trust me, they still want to finish the league. They put a lot of effort and time into this, and they want their fair chance. I think, like you said, the most logical, the answer solution to that is basically give everyone a fair chance to finish the season. I think everyone with that way is happy. The only teams that are saying it to null and void are the teams that are just in there, like you said, in their favour. Like
West Ham null and void it. Karen Brady's the first one. Of course you will say that. Of course you would. Because you could be out. It could be out of the league by the end of it. And listen, can someone tell me this, yeah? This whole Corona COVID-19 thing is booky at the best of times, yeah? There's certain things that I'm not ain't quite marrying up for me, yeah? But look at it like this. Finish the season. They're talking about finishing the season behind closed doors, okay? Viable option for me. I think that is because the only thing that's come back, and this is again from conversations that we've had with people who are in the game at the highest level, saying, yeah, but player safety is paramount. You can't just say because they're footballers, do it. Granted, I get that. But my argument to that would be, Prince Charles said he had COVID-19, he had coronavirus. Yeah? My man came out 3-4 days later saying, it's good. It's okay. It's okay. I'm alright now. It's all right, it's good. I've shifted it.
Good stuff.
Do you know what I mean? So if, get whatever he's having and you'll be alright. Because that doesn't make sense. They said people who are older are high risk.
Not him, bro.
Not him. 4 days, cuz he's doing cross country. So I'm just...
Another thing is this year. So like Euros has been cancelled now. So you've got until this whole end of this year to complete this season if you want to. China's moving regular. They're back to normal. And that is in itself is mad. It's wacky. They're back to normal. Like nothing's happened. They're all going out and about and doing the normal thing. And I think you touched on there. They're producing now equipment to fight COVID. Really?
They say, listen, this COVID thing, don't worry, we got you.
We got you.
We got you lot. Listen, our factories are up and running. We're producing face masks. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're sending you, man. Now you sent us enough. Chill.
So what we're saying is like they're back to normal. So what we're saying is it won't take that long as people think maybe if you just stay your ass at home.
But they're also moving a lot madder.
Yeah. If they got the military on the roads, like just patrolling things.
We got mans in the park.
Doing kicky up.
There's a difference. But I think that the point, going back to the point is, a lot of people are saying, listen, you know, the player safety is first and foremost, you have to scrap it and whatever. But you can't then say scrap it and focus on next season, because if you're saying, okay, just scrap, and there's a lot of repercussions that come with it. So, which is the biggest thing. You've got to give everybody the opportunity to finish the league. The other thing is, you can't, people keep saying about preparing for next season, but you can't prepare for next season, essentially, because you don't even know when you're going to start again. You don't actually know when you're going to start again. So what you're saying is, right, so let's just scrap everything and just wait until it completely lifts, and then we'll go and start a new season as of the week after. It didn't work like that. But at least this way around, you say, right, okay, we will finish this season, and then we will prepare for the season after. Even on that basis, it doesn't make any sense. Scrapping the Euros, best thing they could have done. And even from an England perspective, because Harry Kane is injured, and so is Rashford, so it's worked out. But like I said, there's so many different caveats in there about just null and voiding it. I just can't see how that is the logical answer. If it means you do it behind closed doors and it's a free to air on channels or whatever, you pick whatever games you want to watch. But the under 18s, they're in the same boat. the 23s are in the same boat. The reserves are in the same boat. Like, you know, the wider squad and the first team. Everyone's at the moment not doing anything. So you're all free of injury. So if you turn around and say, right, this is what's happened. Now we've got the all clear. It's going to be behind closed doors. We're going to get you the Prince Charles tests, so we'll know what's going on. But we're going to finish the season. Player safety, and at the moment everyone's gagging for football. So everyone will watch it. So I think that's from my perspective. I think you'd have to finish the season. Just from a championship perspective, Leeds United have been looking to come back. They deserve to come up after everything they've done. West Brom, unbelievable season. The teams in and around the championship are thinking, well, hold on a minute. You know, Norwich are pretty much they're like they're gonna, of course they're going to want to stay null and void it because they get another year on that dough, on the Premier League dough. But do they deserve to carry on? They don't actually deserve to have another go at it. So, you know,
well, the thing is, like, you've got enough time. Like I'm saying, is to finish the season however you want to finish it, and then next season you can alter it however you want to do it, so it's fair playing field for everyone from right at the beginning. So this is how it's going to be panned out. You maybe have to play 3 games in a week. The Championship already do it. If you want to cancel or stop the FA Cup, whatever it may be, to make it work, so it's a fair playing field for everyone for that season. An interesting solution that someone gave to me as well, which was a good point, was if this whole virus situation is extended to maybe a longer period of time, is to actually continue the season from where it left off in the new year. So you go back go forward to 2021, and you start exactly where you left off the season from February, wherever it is, and you complete the season, and then that season is then a 2-year season technically, and that kind of works. But I don't know if people can live without football for that long, because boy, this whole situation right now, I do not know how people who don't have sport in their life get on and carry on with their life. It's mad. Like, I'm scratching heads out here thinking what to do. Like,
if they put a Division 6 Saturday local league game, yeah, on Sky Sports tomorrow, I guarantee you it will hit the biggest numbers you ever did see.
Ask man any questions around Fresh Prince, what happens in an episode of
Ask
Friends.
me about Friends, cuz. Ask me anything about Friends. We were on a break. Oh, listen, I've got it.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's tough. I know if people don't know, you can pause your subscription to Sky Sports and BT Sport and them things there. Do it, because it's hard times. Like, I've been watching like old school things, just like watching anything to relate to football, watching FIFA. So the next man's play FIFA, or the computer play each other on FIFA. So like, it's hard. So I that solution is there and it's viable, but to wait that long for football would be a bit crazy. So I think the solutions are there, and people have come out with all kinds of craziness. But say if they were to say null and void, they were to say, okay, scrap it. I mean, how would you feel about that?
Yeah, listen, I would lose a lot of respect for what the organisation of the FA and all this sort of stuff, because I don't think the biggest sport, a sport and a league that's followed globally as big as it is, to turn around and say, yeah, we're just going to scrap it. I think it just loses a lot of credibility. And like I said, I'm not saying this just because, from a Liverpool perspective, whoever would be top of the league, I'd say the same thing, because I don't think from the brand that's been built, and you'll say, like, obviously this is an unprecedented time. I know there isn't a right or wrong answer here at the moment, because we haven't been through a pandemic like this. We've never seen before, so there isn't a guaranteed right and a guaranteed wrong answer in this. But what I can say is that you got to think about the repercussions it will have on the brand. If you don't finish the season, there's going to be players out of contract. So what happens to those guys if you do restart it? So I understand that there are caveats both ends, and there's 2 sides of the story. But the biggest brand of this football, the best league in the world, everyone refers to it as, and you're telling me that now they're just going to scrap it and say, look, it's finished. I think it loses a lot of credibility, and I think that's why you got to think the TV rights, the sponsorship money, the contracts, the deals that are put in place. I don't think you can afford to just turn around and null and void it. But if you do, then all I'm saying is that I personally will think, well, it's a very Mickey Mouse organisation that don't look at alternatives and look at ways of getting things done. They're actually just going to say, just fuck it off, and then we'll just concentrate on next season.
If it's null and void, man, I'm going to be watching fishing or going back to WWE or something, because that's mad. To come up with that kind of decision would be, I think a lot of fans would be literally heartbroken. But
and that's again not just Liverpool fans.
Yeah, no. But
Leeds fans, West Brom fans.
Let me twist the question, right? So say if you were United, or say someone even lower, yeah, and they were talking about null and void. Be honest. How would you be reacting? Like, I'd tell it bait. I'll be there with popcorn like this and say, "Oh, null and void." Okay. Like, how would you? Like, seriously, like, yes, we're the top league, and we're saying like who, regardless of who's going to be number one. But if you was in like 9th, 10th, how would you be thinking the same? Seriously.
Well, I think, like I said, from the banter perspective, if you're a Man United fan, and fair play, I've actually seen that Manchester United have come out. They've said that they think that they should, look to finish the league or whatever. But if I was a United or an Everton or a Tottenham, I'd be laughing. I'd be like, oh yeah, I was like, yeah, no, because we aren't playing for nothing. We're out of all competitions. We're not challenging for anything. We're disgraced this year. This year for them has been a disgrace for most clubs. So they are going to say, yeah, null and void it. But what you got to think about it is, yeah, it's all good for banter, whatever. But you've also got to look at the league and look at what's happened this year. It's not like people are going to forget it. It's not like people are going to turn around and be like, oh, well, okay, Liverpool didn't get crowned champions, but they tucked everybody in. So you still can't get away from that fact. But I just think from a club's perspective, you got to think about the longer term and put banter to one side and think about the knock-on effect it has going forward. But then you say banter. You say banter. Like I said, like this, the podcast, the Geordie guy, the big Geordie, True Geordie, the big Geordie guy, and he mentioned it. Like, and I actually his point I really adhered to, because the fact that you talk about banter, but how are you gonna say, oh, you didn't win the league because the whole world was dying from coronavirus? It's just you know what I mean. It's not banter. That's not real. That's not banter anymore. You got to look at yourself and think, hold on a minute. Do you know what I mean? There's one side which is banter, but that's not banter. Yeah. So. I hear what you're saying, like, but I'm saying, like, and I think you're honest there with the fact that if you're in sort of 10th position, you're going to be sat there quietly thinking, all right, let's see what happens, kind of thing, rather than saying what we're saying. But I think, like we said, we've spoken to a lot of people, and I think a lot of people do agree in the fact that they should finish it. But we'd love to hear people's opinions. Yeah, and like I said, I can't stress enough that I'm not getting away from the fact that safety is paramount. People's health is paramount in this situation. But I also think that if you're telling me that Hong Kong and China are back up and running, and they're going back to normality, people are going to bars and pubs and stuff like that there, and they're going to parks and stuff, that you can't tell me that we can't be controlled enough to have things behind closed doors to get this done. I find it hard to believe.
Yeah, but them man got like military, roaming the streets, cuz.
Yeah, but I've got a friend in Hong Kong who plays football out there, and he said that they've carried on and they're behind closed doors.
Serious?
Yeah, because they're doing stuff behind closed doors. He's a pro footballer out there, and he said that. So, but they've also had a second wave because people are coming back into the country. So there is that. Like I said, there is always going to be stuff. This is an unknown for everybody, and I really hope people take that away from that. I'm not saying that we should risk people's lives. I'm not saying that whatsoever, because I do think this is a very, very serious pandemic. As you can see, I ain't gone nowhere. As you can tell, I'm following orders to say, listen, stay locked down, and I encourage everybody to not be on the Grealish hype. To stay at home, but like I said, there needs to be a plan in place here to get the season finished, because you can only really start thinking. You can tailor and chop and change next season as much as you want, but once you get there. But at the moment, we're nowhere near there yet. So you're saying start focusing on next season and drop this. So what, everyone just does nothing now until we have a rough idea of when that might start again? No, I can't see that's the logical answer.
I have to agree on that. So yeah, I mean, let us know your opinions on this. It can be fans from all over the place in terms of different clubs and stuff, and let us know your opinion honestly as well. And if you want to say it in a banter level, then you can do it as well. But it would be good to hear your take on it and to see what kind of solutions that people come up with. That's a few solutions that we came up with. I know people on Sky Sports, different pundits, have come up with other wacky ones, like 5 teams coming up and all this kind of stuff, and then going back to normal afterwards. Don't really make sense to me. It becomes overcomplicated.
Yeah, I know someone said that the 2 that come up from the Championship this year come up. No one gets relegated, and then 5 go down next year. Yeah. So it's stuff like that. But the other thing is, and this is on a slightly side topic. Listen, we're in the same struggle as everybody else. And mental health issues is big at the moment. I know people talking about it, and it's topical in the sense that people are being more comfortable talking about it. Listen, we're here. So if anyone wants to just have a bit of banter, or wants to banter us off about something that we've said, or wants us to discuss something, listen, just drop us a note. We're here. It's a tough time for everyone, and let's help each other to make sure that everyone can get through it, because like I say, it is a very unprecedented time at the moment, but let's all stick together and help each other through it.
Yeah, hit us in the DMs, any topics that you want us to discuss. We'll try and find some time and have a little debate about it and have a bit of banter, like we said. So feel free to do that. But yeah, let us know your views on this topic. It'll be good to see everyone's views on it. Until then, stay safe. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe.
And wash your hands.
Wash your dirty hands. All right, peace out.